Peace and blessings. Hey, I definitely want to welcome you all back for another great episode of Scar Tissue Talk Show. And this is actually hosted by the author of This Is the Real Deal, Selena Turner. But today is actually my friend's birthday. So let's just take a moment and wish Selena a happy birthday. So wherever you are, I need you to say happy birthday, Selena. So, I love you, Queen. You know what I mean? I hope that you're enjoying your day. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why she's not here today to be able to host this great interview with our guest today. But with that being said, we want to just go ahead and introduce who our new guest is. This is actually our third episode, and we're grateful to be able to feature this young lady. She's a heck of a person, very courageous, very strong, and I'm just admired by her story and just grateful to have her on the show today. And let me just tell you a little bit about her, if you don't mind. And I'm talking about featuring a published author of a book called A Gift and the Curse and a host of morning miracles with charity. You might have caught it, you know what I mean? I've been sharing a little bit. It's very inspirational, actually, what she's been doing on her Facebook, just, being completely natural and open. And that's kind of what, you can expect today. And I'm talking about the one and only represented out of Chicago, Illinois, the best city in the world. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the one and only Charity Dunn. I really want to actually just welcome to the show. So wherever you at, give her a hand because this girl is special. So please let me bring her on the screen real quick. Peace,
Hey,
Queen. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. Happy birthday, Selena.
That's right. Happy birthday, Selena. Yeah, she actually was beating herself up that she couldn't be here. She did not know her family was gonna give her a surprise birthday party today. But
That's
that's how it
nice.
turned out. Yeah,
That's what's
absolutely.
up.
It's good to be celebrated, you know what I mean, at all
For
times.
sure.
But real quick, if you don't mind, before we get into your story, let me just give the people and remind them what scar tissue actually is. And this is about if you have a physical scar. Now we a lot of us may have physical scars that may not have affected our self-esteem, our confidence in one time or another. And so you can be a burn victim, you can be a shot survivor, a person who's been shot and survived gunshot wounds, or you can have scars from a surgery. Some women have, scars from pregnancy. It's just different type of scars, you know what I mean? Even those who's dealing with mental health issues have self-inflicted scars. These people are also welcome on this show to be able to tell your story because this is a platform where we do not discriminate. We support and just want to remind you that you are still beautiful, you are special, and everyone has a story to tell. And today is charity story. Like I said, this is charity week, but I'll talk about more about that later. This is charity week. So, with that being said, thank you again for being here, Miss Author Charity Dunn.
You're welcome.
First, can you tell them the name of your book and how they can find your book, possibly?
The name of my book, which is on the screen as well, is called A Gift of a Curse. A Gift of a
Yes.
Curse is my testimony and also a true story about my life growing up on Chicago's West Side. I wrote this to give hope, to inspire, to empower someone that may be going through any type of struggles out there, anyone that may feel hopeless or needs some type of encouragement during hard times. I feel like this would be a great read to give you some inspiration and give you some hope. This book can be found on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Target. I have ebooks. This is the hard copy of it. It's so beautiful. This is my book that I made to myself. I also have the paperbacks and there's also ebooks. So if you go ahead and Google A Gift of a Curse by Charity Dunn, I should come up and it should show you all of the different places where this book can be purchased all over the world, international
Mm.
and also in the United States in America.
Hey, that's a heck of an introduction. You got that script down pat, girl. You are good at this. You are a
Thank you.
professional.
Thank
Definitely a
you.
professional. Yeah, and definitely I look forward to being able to hold that book, read that book, and just embrace, your story and everything that you put into that book. Because I know it's not easy to, write a book. Well, I haven't even wrote my book yet. You know what I'm saying? That's how not easy it is. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
it took 2 years to write it. It took a year to
Mm.
publish it.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
amazing.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good things take time. Good things take time.
Thank
So
you.
with that, you welcome, definitely you welcome. We actually have our first guest checking in, who left a comment that is, and I wanna, say hello to actually she was the first guest on this show, Jazzy No Nonsense the Poet. Appreciate you, Queen. Thank you so much for tuning in. She says happy birthday, sis. They both represent Michigan, so she's coming out of Detroit right now. Appreciate you
That's what's
tuning in,
up.
Queen.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you. So, with that being said, Charity, if you don't mind, in your own words, can you tell us a little bit about, what happened when you were a young lady that, and the reason why, we here today for you to tell your story that I know is just going to continue to inspire a lot of people, just like that book has and continue to will. If you could just tell us kind of like what happened and, what possibly may have led up to people having so much jealousy.
So I wrote A Gift of a Curse about all of the pain I endured over the years. I grew up, I was adopted at birth. My mother was white, my father was black. And
Okay.
I was born into I call this a gift of a curse because I feel like I was born into a generational curse where my mother, she was adopted, well, she was placed in an orphanage and her mother was placed in an orphanage. So it was just a long line of they were giving their kids away. Her mother gave her up for an orphan. Her mother was given up for an orphan. And then she gave me up for adoption. So I felt like it was a curse on our bloodline because of that. And I grew up with my dad's side of the family on the Chicago's west side, on like right off the 290 on California, right off California. And they gave me everything. They had me real spoiled, and they actually had me modeling at like I started modeling maybe like 8 years old. And I was modeling, so I was maybe 14 years old for like school fashion shows, family reunions, church picnics, things like that. I also was going to modeling school with John Robert Powers, where they were teaching me how to act and teaching me how to do makeup and how to do the catwalk, the runway walk, and things like
Mm,
that. And I also traveled to California and did photo shoots and things like that and competed with girls all across the world in modeling competitions. And my sister used to always tell me, like, don't take my pictures outside and brag about it. But I thought that that was something like to brag about because I knew that that was something different coming from where I was from. But me by me, I always grew
mhm,
up in the church. I grew up going to church Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday. I was
mm,
there all day. I was a little green to what the streets could do to you. So when I made
mm,
it out there, I was bragging about how I was this model and I was always showing off and like really just wanted them to accept me and be my friend and stuff. But it may have caused a lot of resentment and hate because eventually, well, I was involved in a domestic violence dispute at 15 where this boy, it was like he threw the brick at the ground and a
mm,
piece of it broke off and flew up in the air and knocked me out. So that was probably my first scar
mm,
that ended my modeling career because both of my eyes were swollen, my self esteem and my confidence just kind of went away after that because of the bruising of my face for maybe like 2 months. So
mm,
I stopped modeling, but I still was like, I was going through a lot at the time because I was being bullied by the people in the neighborhood and I wouldn't stop coming around. So the more I came around, the more they would try to hurt me. And eventually this girl that I consider my friend, I was maybe probably somewhere I shouldn't have been. I had walked to Rockwell Projects and when I went over there, it was this boy. I knew that he liked me, but he was involved with this other girl. He also was messing with one of my other friends. But he was up there with another girl. He wasn't even up there with me. He was with another girl, but the girls thought I was up there with him. Long story short. So when I came out, his girlfriend, baby mama, she was outside waiting on me with a butcher knife. When I made it across the
mm,
bridge to, because I had to walk across this bridge, and when I walked across the bridge to get to California from Rockwell Projects, her house
Right.
was like right there on Harrison. So she was outside walking with a butcher knife when I walked up. And when I walked up, I thought that I could talk to her because I knew that I really wasn't doing nothing wrong. I probably shouldn't have been over there, but I knew I hadn't been seeing that boy or messing with that boy. So I thought I could talk to her because she was my friend. Well, at least I thought she was my friend. But when she walked up on me, she had the butcher knife on her hand. She was like, "Where you been? Where you been?" And I had grabbed her and I was trying to talk to her, and I didn't know that the guy that was with her was her brother. I didn't even
Mm,
know he was with her. I didn't even know him, but he grabbed me and he was like, "Let her go." And when he told me to let her go, it kind of took me by surprise, and I lost focus on her. And the knife went up my face, so she had a butcher knife and it stabbed me from here to the top of my head.
mm,
And I went down and we fought with the knife. I remember her swinging a knife like so many times. I don't even know how I survived that because I remember the knife. I remember her swinging a knife like going crazy with the knife, but it only hit me one more time on my forehead. But I remember her like trying to stab my feet. I had her by her hair and I was kind of like dragging her, but she was trying to stab my legs and my feet, but she never cut me no
mm,
more. And I think a homeless man, if I'm not mistaken, somebody, because it was a homeless shelter right there, somebody walked up and was like, you need to go get help. Let her go. And I didn't want to leave because I really just wanted the knife. I did not want to leave her with a knife that she had almost just took my face off with. So, but I was losing so much blood and I was getting weak that I had to run off. And I just remember running off with a trail of blood behind me. The
mm,
ambulance came. Everybody was screaming and crying and stuff. The girls that was in the house that I had been associating with at the time from over there in the area, my friends at that time, they was screaming and crying and stuff. And they wrapped me up like a mummy. I remember getting into it with the ambulance people because they wrapped the top of my head up that way and then wrapped me up. I thought my life was over. So I sat in the hospital for 3 days. I got 220 something stitches, maybe 250
mm.
stitches. It was something between 220 and 250 stitches from
Wow.
the bottom of my face to like the top of my head because I had two on my ear and it was even like a gash in my head because it went all the way up to there. But I remember after that I kind of lost it. Like I really started like I didn't really want to live. Like I just thought about wanting to learn how to kill her because I didn't really have that killer in me. And I really wanted to learn how to be something that I wasn't really because I wasn't raised like that. So um, I started hanging in the streets. I started wearing hoodies. I started getting high real bad, like smoking weed and drinking all the time to numb myself and to give me courage to do something that I knew better because I was raised in the church, so I knew right from wrong, and I had a conscience. And a lot of things I didn't have the heart to do because I wasn't raised like that. But I would numb myself to the point where I just didn't care. Um, and then I was stealing cars so that I could protect my body um, because I was getting jumped on a lot by a lot of people. So I always kept me a different car, stealing people cars because the boys was mean at the time anyway. If you dare smoke and drink with you, and if you don't do what they want, they'll leave somewhere. So I had got to the point where I was leaving them and I was using the cars to protect myself and also for like weapons because I knew that I wouldn't allow people to hurt me long as I got them cars and stuff like that. So I did a lot of things in my lifetime. This happened to me when I was 16. So about 17, I had a child. Well, this happened to me at 16, yeah, and at 17, I had my child. He saved my life. He actually came a year later, the same day I was stabbed, February 11, 2003. And
Mm.
February 11, 2004, God had blessed me with my son. So I knew
Praise
that
God.
my son had really came to help me live because I had really gave up on life. I really felt suicidal. I felt like a monster. I didn't feel normal. I didn't think it was cute. I didn't feel like I was a girl anymore. I started trying to learn how to be a gangster. I walked around with hoodies on all the time. I learned how to play with guns. I learned how to shoot guns. I learned how to rob and sell drugs. I did everything that the boys did because I didn't feel like a girl no more. I didn't feel
Mm,
human. I didn't want to live. and I just wanted to I really wanted to do something to her, but I guess it was never God's plan that I was able to do that, because every time that I had the opportunity to do something to her, she always had somebody to stop me, or she always had help, and I always been kind of like me against the world. So there was a time where I did have some help, and I would they my people did let me whoop her. They wouldn't let me stab her though, because they knew I was gonna go to jail. So they wouldn't let me stab her, but they let me whoop her and stuff like that. But it was just crazy at that time, because once this happened to me, I never felt the same no more. Still to this day, it kind of bothers me, like looking at it on camera and on pictures and stuff like that. It doesn't really sit well with me still to this day, but I've learned to heal from it. Every year on February 11th, 2000, well, every year on February 11th, I go through a lot of different emotions that I'm currently in therapy trying to work through and heal, because I relive that moment every year on that day. And even though it's my son's birthday and I should be celebrating life, I still find myself like in a dark space because this happened to me on that day. And I go through a lot of different emotions. I'm sad, I'm mad, I want my leg back, I'll be regretful. Then I'm happy. I thank God I made it, because I could have lost my life out here. So yeah, I go through a lot of different feelings and emotions on that day. And still to this day, like I'm not super comfortable with it, especially with like seeing it on camera. But I know that, the scars is what make us who we are, and maybe God set me apart for a reason, because now I got a face that nobody would never forget. So I take the bitter with the sweet, and I've learned how to heal past those things, but I won't lie, act like it's not something that still hurt, because it is. It's something that I still go through to this day, and it happened 21 years ago.
Wow, that that is first. Let me just because there's a lot. There's a lot to you just said, and man, first,
Hmm.
God bless you. And I know so many people. I have a large women audience, and you are one of the most beautiful women I've ever not met in person. You know what I'm saying? One of the most beautiful women that I look forward to meeting in person. You are
Thank
so
you.
beautiful and just naturally gorgeous. And I can't even imagine or would even thought if I didn't know this about you that you have been through all of that. You know what I mean? And I have so many questions I want to ask pertaining to that. I know we have a break. We're gonna come coming up soon. But first, my question is because there's a lot of questions based on what you said. Um, First question is in reference to you said you had 220, 250 stitches. Was these surgeries? Did you have to have surgeries after this? Like like a lot of surgeries because like the faces
Yeah, this
has a
is
lot
not
of
the original scar. Um,
okay. You
so
had
I
like plastic
had just
surgery,
one thick mark from here to here for the first year, but my mother was going to pay to get the scar removed. And they end up doing like revision of the scar, because it was keloid at first. Just like when you get
right?
stabbed, or when some people have keloid skin and it gets that big, like ugly, like centipede over it. And that's exactly
Yeah.
how I looked at it in my face. So they did a
Oh,
revision of the scar, and this is called Z plastic, where I went
mm,
and had surgery to have, it's like they recut it open, like they cut that regular scar off
mm,
and then re-sewed it up, sewed it down, because cosmetically it was this makes the cosmetic correct, and the keloid won't come back if the scar was up and down, up and down. So this was not originally the real scar. This is a revision of the scar. The scar was redone by a surgeon, and they call this
mm.
Z plastic surgery. And this was not, and that was another thing that pissed me off, and why I never went back for surgery, because I'm like, what is this? What the
Mhm.
fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I know that's difficult, but thank God for your mom having the finances or insurance to be able to do that for you. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously a lot of people have gone through similar things and they don't have that insurance or money or whatever the case may be to have that type of surgery to be able to remove, like you say. Um, the evidence of what you have been through physically. So thank
Yeah,
God
because
for
this
that.
is not the
Awesome.
original scar. The original scar was just one straight mark and it was just thick.
Right.
So they did the Z plastic to stop it from ever kiloing back up. So it never kiloed back up after this. So
Mm.
it actually looked way better probably now than it did at first. I don't know. I hated both of them. So I probably would never see it the way other people probably would see it.
Right. No, absolutely. And again, so many questions. Now, do you still feel it? Can you still feel like,
No,
that moon? Because I understand like when
I
you get
never felt
stabbed,
it.
you never felt it.
I didn't even
You
feel it
just
when it happened. I never felt
okay.
it. It never hurt it like ever. Um, I'm trying to think maybe when I got the stitches afterwards did it hurt? Maybe. I don't never really remember it is definitely, but it's definitely is cruel. And thank you so much, Jazzy. I wish I felt that way a long time ago. I'm rebuilding my confidence right now as we speak. Over the last 3 years, I've really been focused on my healing journey and rebuilding my confidence. But I went through a lot with this because when this first happened, everybody was like, "What happened to your face?" Everywhere you go, I got to answer that question. What happened to your face? Who did that to you? What happened? So it's like everywhere I go, I had to tell a story. And when my son was little, when it was fresh, like the kids would laugh at him, like, "Oh, your mama a monster," and stuff like that. So that was very hard for me to go through. And then a lot of kids would just stare at me and stuff, like the kid people would just stare at me as if I was like a science project or something. So that made me super uncomfortable. um I mean, it's 21 years later. I'm so much better with it now. And a lot of people don't even ask me about it. It's probably not as noticeable as it was back then by being fresh. But yeah, now it's more of a I just don't like it on camera. I don't like it on pictures and stuff like that. Like but in person and stuff, I feel like I am beautiful. I have got my confidence and self esteem back since then. But it took some time for me to get here. It wasn't something that I could feel right away. Actually, a lot of years later before I started back feeling beautiful again.
Yeah, and let me reiterate, Chicago, there's certain places in this country and the world that's just it's some rough neighborhoods and rough places where you grew up, that you stated where you were from and where this actually occurred. That's a rough area, rough place. You know what I mean? Um,
Absolutely.
with that being said, do you feel like that if you would be as strong as you would be if this did not happen? You ever think about stuff like that? Like, courageous, like it takes a lot of basically, excuse my language, balls, or what I'm saying, to be able to commit crimes and do stuff like that. Some of the things you say that you did in reference
I
to taking
probably wouldn't
cars,
have never been that person if this didn't happen to me.
right,
I never would have went that way if that didn't happen. Courageous. That's a great way. That's a great perspective. But no, I wouldn't have been. I probably would have never turned into because I felt like a monster, so I acted like one. And at
right,
the time, 50 Cent had dress dropped that song, Many Men Wish Death Upon Me. And they used to
yeah,
drive me crazy because that's how I felt. It was like,
mm,
I felt like they all was wishing death on me. And
mm,
the blood was in my eye and I couldn't see. And I was
right,
trying to be
right,
who I was destined to be. And they was trying to take my
mm,
life away. So he was talking about how he'll put a hole in him for messing with him. So I wanted to learn how to be a
mm,
shooter. I wanted to learn how to be a gang member. And I really started hanging with the guys and I really started getting like that. And, I probably would have never wanted to even be that person because I came from modeling. Like I was a model.
right,
I was doing makeup. I was doing acting. I was doing
yeah,
photography. I was a girly girl, a country girly girl because I grew up with older people though, because my mom and them from Mississippi, the ones who raised me. So I was like a country
right,
girly girl, but still at the same time I was more girly girlish. Um, the gangster side came because I didn't feel human no more. I felt monster. I felt I was angry and
right,
somebody had to pay for this. So it was
Right.
like I had got to the point where I was just didn't really want to live no more, but I didn't have the courage to take myself out. So I would do all type of crazy shit, um, and really didn't care. I didn't have a conscience. I didn't really have a heart. And then when I had my baby, I slowed down because he gave me a sense of purpose to want to live. But I still was mentally, fuck. Well, excuse me. I was mentally
Yeah.
disturbed
No, I
behind that.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
was really
absolutely. I
mentally
mean,
disturbed behind that, and I needed help. But I didn't really feel like it was no help out here for me, and I wasn't really open to help at that time because I was only 17. So
right.
I had really just kind of gave up on life. And so I started going back. I got 23 misdemeanors and like 5 felonies. I've been arrested like 30 times. So
Mm,
like I think jail humbled me because
mm,
I got older. Once I had my second child, I knew that I couldn't continue to leave him like I did my first baby because I knew I had made a lot of mistakes with my first baby. I feel like my first son, he grew up with me. He came to me in the afterlife because I felt like I was dead. So he
that's
came
deep.
during a time where he kind of saved my life and gave me a chance at life again. And I thank God for him. He's so amazing right now. To be what he is right now, he is a college D1 football player playing with Lindenwood University on a scholarship. That's a
Mm,
blessing because he really
mm,
went through the struggle with me. Like my other two kids did not go through that with me, but my first one he did. He was there to witness his mama as a monster because that's what I felt like I was, a demon, a monster. I was something that wasn't natural or human. So he was there for that. And by the grace of God, God blessed him, changed him, and put him in a good position. But when I had my second baby and I went to jail that second time and I did that time in prison, I knew that I had to come home and do something different because I didn't want to go back to prison no more. I was tired of that life.
okay, two questions pertaining to what you just spoke about. How long did you ever have to spend in prison, or the total time span that you've been away from, your children by
The
being
longest was a
incarcerated?
year.
Okay.
I went away twice. The first time was like 6, 7 months. The second time was like a year. That was a long time for me because
Yeah, a long
being
time
away
for
from my
anybody.
babies was like one of the worst things in the world to me because I felt like I was doing the same thing that my mama did to me. I was putting my kids through that where they was growing up
Mm.
without their mother. And the thought of them going through what I had to go through is just never sat well with me. So that was my motivation, my inspiration, my aspiration. So why I decided to change because I didn't want my kids to grow up without their mama.
No, absolutely. And Jazzy says your roots always call you back. Um, and I wanted to ask, I mean, when you were on this trail of, just feeling, bad because of the way you felt, because of what you looked like in the mirror, what type of support do you feel like you had at home or in your family, cousins, and do you have any siblings? You know what I mean? Was anybody trying to pull you back from the streets when they saw that you going out this direction to deal with your pain? Was anybody there trying to pull you back? Because I understand
Well,
you come from
before it
the
happened,
church.
I had went through it's some stuff in this book. You got to get the book to read it. But
Okay,
when
okay,
I was
okay.
16 years old, I went through some of the most detrimental stuff in life. Like I spent my sweet 16 birthday in jail in the Audi home. I sat
Mm,
in the Audi home for 3 months, two, three
mm,
months, like 60 to 90 days. And I did my sweet 16 birthday in jail. When I came home, a boy that I eventually married, he did some detrimental stuff to me that summer that I haven't got comfortable with speaking on yet, but I did write about it. It was much more easier for me to write about it than it is for me to speak on because
yeah,
once again, it was something that was not anything that I had ever heard of that was not human. Like I've been through things that it's like not human. So it's like it wasn't seem real. So he had did that to me, and then my grandmother she came and got me, and then I went through some things at my grandma's house. which I wrote about in
Mm.
this book that I not feel comfortable with speaking on. Not that I don't feel comfortable with speaking on, but that's why you got to get the book because I can't tell you everything that's in there, but I
Right,
can
right,
give
right.
you a glimpse of it though. So,
Yeah.
a lot of these things, a lot of this pain is still I'm still healing from, put it like that. And a
Yeah.
lot of things was more easier to speak on. I mean, to write about than it is to speak on. So by this being a scar, this is something I had to speak on every day since it happened. This is like much more easier for me to speak about. But my grandma had tried to get me, and then something happened at her house, and I had to come back to the hood, and that's when this happened to me. I think people kind of lost hope. I had my one cousin, my boy cousin. He was supporting me in my gangster mission. Like if that's what I wanted to do, he was riding with me 10 toes.
Yeah.
I had another boy cousin that was standing 10 toes with me that was gonna put me in like in type like whatever I was on, they was on my boy cousins. A couple of them, like two or three of them. Shout out to them, especially one of my oldest, my big boy cousin Bobo. I love him so much. He really came and tried to put me in a car and help me get to work and help me, try to really help support me to stay on the right track, especially when I got pregnant with my baby. He gave me a car. He was giving me money. He was buying me stuff, and he was like one of the only persons that was really supportive of me at that time. Shout out to Bubba. I love my big cousin so much. He was there at that time. But I didn't have a super strong foundation at that time because my sister who helped raise me, she was so disappointed and so like over it because my behavior, she was like kind of had stepped away from me. My mama 90 years old, so she was old at the
Mm.
time, but she was always super supportive. But it was only so much she could do. But I didn't
Right.
have like a super support system. Still to this day, I don't. I got a few people that I love, and I got a few that I know for a fact love me, but it's just not like a lot of people that's super supportive on this journey, and I'm okay with that. I got a lot of people that God been sending to me that's not family that's gonna stand 10 toes. I got a few people that is family that's gonna stand 10 toes. And in the
Yeah.
streets, I got a lot of the guys. I created my own family in the streets. The boys, they love me, so because I really earned my stripes. And I ain't even talking about like, I don't know, messing with them type stuff. Like on the gangster note, like I really did things that men didn't do. I really survived stuff that boys in the streets couldn't do. So I had a different type of level of respect out here when it comes to like a lot of different things.
Okay. Okay. Now when it comes to like you say before the gangster life, if that's the appropriate terminology, you know what I mean? Before you start living the
Thug
gangster
life,
life,
however you want to put it.
the thug
Yeah.
life, young Tupac life, before you that got into all of that in your life, when you said you used to do makeup and used to do this and all the things that you enjoy doing, the modeling, do you find yourself at any point right now that you've written the book and you've gotten and released a lot of this pain, and hurt, not to say you released everything, but you was able to put and contain it into a book now to where is your story? Do you feel like now you are more inspired or motivated to get back to some of the things that you were doing as a young lady when you were, just a tender girl before all of this
Not really. I feel
happened
like
in
my
your life?
purpose kind of changed.
Okay.
Whereas then the things that I was doing back then was really like doing things to be seen. Now I'm doing things to be heard because now I got a
Mm.
voice. And I'm giving my pain a voice. And now I got a story. Now I got something to say. Back then, it was
Right.
more of a just a pretty girl to be seen type thing because I was pretty. I could model. I could take pictures. I could do all that type of stuff. It was a more of a being seen back then. Now it's more of a being heard now. So, not really because my purpose kind of changed now. So I'm really want to do the transformational speaking and the motivational speaking and continuing to inspire and empower people with sharing my story and writing books and things like that. I really want to turn this book into a movie once I find the
Right.
right people, the right resources, and the right funding for it. I got a different purpose now.
Yeah,
God had a
indeed. And
different
like
plan for me. Huh?
no, I'm sorry. No, in that order, absolutely. God has a different plan for everybody. We all special in our own right, you know what I mean? And like I said off camera, when I first talked to you, you told me about your book and I was so inspired and motivated, and that's why I invited you to be on this show and other opportunities, it's because I really believe in the charity done story, and I'm just, I feel bad. I'm very sympathetic that you had to go through everything that you've been through and that, but you kept going, you know what I'm saying? Somehow you kept going. With that being said, how long did it take you? Because you said that you felt like, and it hurts for me to even say this, that you say you felt like a monster, and that's just sad that anyone feel like they feel like that. You know what I mean? How long did it take you to readjust to when you look in the mirror? Was it after the surgery with the um after you had the surgery, basically the scar removed, for you to start feeling more like a woman again, a lady, when you look in the mirror now instead of feeling like a monster?
It took for me to 3 years ago for me to meet somebody new. God had allowed me to bump heads, cross paths with somebody, and they brought a little self awareness to me. Because um, I still this just I just started wanting to be more feminine back on my feminine journey 3 years ago.
Wow.
Because I had to see myself from a different perspective. Because not only did I go through this, but I went through 9 years of domestic violence. I was
Mm,
married to my abuser. So I was going through
mm,
domestic violence since I was 15 years old. So constantly seeing myself looking in the mirror with black eyes and my nose bleeding and mouth busted and stuff like that, that never helped me heal because I was constantly being hurt and constantly being hurt and constantly hurt, and it didn't do nothing but make me more angrier and angrier and angrier. So when I snapped and left my ex-husband, I was at a I was back at the point where I was when I was young, where I was lost and I didn't care and I just didn't give I didn't really care if I lived or if I died or what happened at that point because I just wanted out of the marriage. So I was right back in that headspace. It was like I had went back like an apocalypse or something. Like I went back 20 years. Like I was right back in that space that I was in 20 years ago mentally. And then God allowed me to cross paths with somebody that helped bring some awareness to me, somebody that I had respect for, and I was able to become more aware of who I was. And it was not that I needed the validation, I needed the reminder at that time because I had kind of lost sight of a lot of things that God had for me and who I was. I lost sight of that because I was so focused on the pain and trying to escape it and what I'm gonna do next and how I'm gonna get out and how I'm gonna do this and how I'm gonna do that or how I'm gonna get my lick back. And I was so focused on all the wrong stuff that I had totally lost sight of who I was. So I needed it. It wasn't that I needed to be validated or that I needed somebody to tell me that I was beautiful. I needed some. It wasn't that I needed that. It was just at the time I needed somebody that I respected, which this was someone that I had respect for, somebody I had adoration for, and they just came and reminded me of like, like you shouldn't be this type of way. Like it's not okay for you to act like this, because
right.
for a long time people just kind of accepted it like this who I was. Like, oh, that's church. Oh, oh, church a gangster. Oh, church a fool. No, don't play with church. No. Um, and then this person, he was different, and he kind of came around and he was like, no, like that ain't cool. Don't act like that. That ain't cute. What makes you think that's okay? And it just made me start reflecting on myself. Not that I wanted to change for him, I wanted to change because I had now realized that I was grown now. I'm almost 40. Like
Mm,
it was no, and then I had made it out of all those situations. So it was time for me to become who I really am. And I had to go deep down inside and find out who I was because I had lost myself with all the pain, with the
mm,
domestic violence, with the marriage, with the scars, with the bullying, with the streets, with the jails. I had lost myself. So I didn't know who Charity was no more. And had this person I came around and kind of reminded me to find Charity, I still would have been church because I changed the streets into the streets. I'm church, and know a lot of times me and my ex husband used to fight about that because he didn't want me to be church, but his message was right, but his deliverance was wrong. He was trying to force me to be something else, and it was like I had no respect for him, so it was like it was never gonna work. But yeah, I was able to find out who Charity was again, and allow myself to let church go, because church was
Wow.
like a street name, alter ego, or somebody that I created that I really wasn't. But that's who I felt like I needed to be in order to survive out here, or in order to gain a respect or acceptance from the streets finally, if that makes
Right.
sense. Now that I'm older and I'm able to reflect on why things happen and things like that, I'm able to say that at this point.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And when you said you got your revenge, and I understand, like you said, they wouldn't allow you the streets or the people around you when you fought the girl that had cut you at the time.
Yeah,
They wouldn't allow you to cut her back, but you fought her. Now, some say revenge is sweet, and then some say revenge is for the Lord. How do you feel after you felt like at the time you got your revenge? What did you feel after,
I
like you
never
say,
felt like I
beating
got
her?
revenge. I don't never feel like I got revenge. I got a chance to beat her up, and I still ain't really beat her up like I wanted to. She maced me when I fought her. She never, I never got a chance to really get her the way she got me. Like, she caught me by myself with somebody with her. She had the
Right,
ups on me. I never caught her by herself. Um, and a lot of times she would pop up on me in times where I was vulnerable. Like, when I first had my son, I didn't have a killer mindset. I wasn't thinking about killing her. I just brought life into the world. I wanted to live and I wanted to love my baby. She would pop up and apologize. Me being a person I am, I accepted her apology. I would try to allow her to come back around me and stuff like that. And I
mm,
just didn't feel like it was genuine. So we eventually will fall back off and get back into it again. And she popped back up again when I went to jail, when I went to prison this last time. And she was writing me and sending me books about forgiveness. And it was like I just went back and forth with the forgiveness with her because it just never felt genuine to me with her. I will forgive her, especially when I'm in vulnerable times. Like, I'm on parole. It's not really too much I'm finna be able to do to you without. I don't want to go to jail. I ain't trying to lose my life out here. You didn't go to jail for what you did. I'm damn sure ain't trying to go to jail. So I felt like she
excuse me.
popped up a lot of times at vulnerable moments and took advantage of those moments to make herself, like, I guess, like, I ain't scared of her. Or maybe she was genuinely sorry. I don't know. I can't really say. I can't speak for her. I don't really know, but I never really felt like it was really genuine. Um, I feel like she knew she was wrong, but um, I don't never really feel like I got my revenge for that at all. I just felt like I fought her, and that was that. But revenge, no. Revenge would be me stabbing her, shooting her, running her off the road, killing her, something like that. But yeah, I never got that. Revenge is the Lord's because he gave me no other choice but to let it be his. He wouldn't
Mm,
allow me to do the things that I desired in my heart to do to her because, like I said, he had a different plan.
right. No, absolutely. And I was gonna ask you, how would you feel if she came back into your life now that you a changed woman, but you have already experienced her being back in your life since this has happened? Thank you, Teresa, for sharing. Thank you so much, Queen. Like, man, that's a lot. And why didn't this girl go to jail? You know what I'm saying? That's
They
attempted
charged her
murder.
with a misdemeanor. It was crazy because when they caught her, I was only 16 years old. Harrison and Kidsey, that's the corruptest police station I ever seen in my life. My mama stayed right in the back of the police station, so they kind of knew who I was, and they
Mm,
labeled me a problem child. And she
mm,
didn't have a criminal history, And when they caught her, they took me in a room and interrogated me by myself without my mother and sister and them present. They took me in a room and they started bringing up my criminal history, like, oh, she stole this car. Oh, she robbed a piece of man. Oh, she was in jail for stabbing somebody. Or I mean, for a knife or something. Like, they started bringing up all my criminal history and the things that I had did, and she didn't have a criminal history. So when I told them like her brother was there, I guess they needed a witness, and instead of them letting me go until they found the brother, they was like, oh well, we're gonna hold both of y'all. And at the time, mentally, I was not in a space to sit behind a wall while y'all investigate something that happened to me, and I was the victim in the situation, and they was trying to lock me up
Right.
too. So I told them I was not finna allow them to hold me while they go find the brother. Like, so they charged her with a misdemeanor and she got off with misdemeanor
That's
charges.
crazy.
When it should have been an attempt murder, but she got off with misdemeanor charges. I didn't have no witnesses. I didn't have no weapon. They
Mm.
didn't really do their job at Harrison and Kids to really find out what happened to me, because I don't even really think they cared. So I really felt like 12. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I was really like, I ain't never really liked the police behind that. I never had no respect for them no more. And that was kind of why I was kind of like a rebellious person, because like I had no respect for the law after that. It was like, forget the police at this point.
Yeah, Jazz say I will never let her back in my space. Forgive but not forget.
You know, it was
Why did
she used to be my friend, so it was like at the time, I can't really explain why
you
I was letting her
realize
back
hold
in.
on.
I Like I said, I always had a soft heart. I ain't never really been a killer at heart. I ain't never been a bad person at heart. I don't even really know how to hate people for real. Like, I have to force myself to be mad at people and hate them. Like, I really feel like Jesus gave me a heart after his own, that I'm able to forgive people, because it's got to be a gift. Because I watch a lot of people hold grudges for the smallest things, and people can do the worst shit in the world to me, and I'm able to forgive them, and I'm able to even like, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the lack of love I have for myself. Maybe it's the lack of comfort. I don't know. But I know that with the heart that I have, I did allow her to come back around me twice. And neither time it just didn't feel genuine with me. And I feel like at this point I could forgive her, but I would never, like, at this point now, I would never allow her back around me, because I don't want her to put me back in the headspace I was in, because I already got past that. So I would rather just forgive her and keep her at a distance. But because she was once my friend, it was like, yeah, I had forgave her and let her back around. Um, but I had been through worse things than that with men. So, and I was letting them back around. So it was like I've been through worse stuff with my family, and I had to be back around them. If I was to just hate everybody that did something to me, I probably wouldn't have nobody around me. Mama,
Mm.
daddy, cousins, nobody. Because a lot of people did dirty things to me that don't deserve to be around, and I had to forgive them. So I don't know. Maybe Jesus gave me a heart after his own.
Yeah, indeed he did, and I definitely believe that. And again, when you young, you just don't know no better when you do a lot of things. And again, you are a girl, a young lady, a woman now who has been through so much that no one can relate to. Like, what I'm saying respectfully, no one here in the comments, not me, not anybody outside of Charity Dunn, could relate to why you do the things that you do in reference to forgiving people, because like, hey, you've been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? And God bless you for being here strong, being able to still have a beautiful smile, look beautiful, have the voice, the courage to have a show called, was it Miracle Mondays with Charity, or
Morning
was it called?
miracles for charity. Yeah,
More,
that's my
I heard
I
I heard
shared
a
my
half of it.
healing journey. Yeah, I shared my healing journey with a community of ladies 2 years ago. And once I shared my healing journey with them, they joined me, and we've been going strong for 2 years straight now. We wake up every morning and we find 10 things to be grateful for, no matter what we're going through, which puts us in a grateful mindset. Start our day off being grateful instead of complaining, being mad, sad, regretting what happened yesterday. We wake up and be grateful. Then we speak positive affirmations, which help us build our confidence, which helps us put us in positive energy, just real big on the positive energy, and speaking things into the universe and allowing our words to become power. And then after we do that, we read one scripture a day, because God's word is healing, it's refreshing, it's strength, it's bread to my soul and keeps me going. That's probably why I don't look like all the things that I've been through, because I got so much of the word in me. So we do one chapter a day. We done read a lot of books of the Bible together. We in Matthews right now. And then we pray. And then it was a time where we will only do manifestation on Mondays, or we'll do manifestation twice a week. But right now, we're doing a 30-day journey where we're going live on Facebook and Instagram, and we're
Mm.
manifesting every day what we want our future to look like, because we know that the more we do this, the realer it becomes, the closer we get to our dreams, our goals, and our destiny, and what we have for ourselves. Because I'm really big on teaching my community about manifestation, because that's not something that I feel like is familiar. Um, Especially with the Black community, I don't feel like that's something that we're really aware of. The power of our words, the power of our thoughts, the power of our mind, how we could create our reality with our thoughts, um, the power of manifestation. So I'm real big with sharing that with the world right now, because I manifested the house I'm in right now. I manifested me writing this book. I manifested this circle of ladies that I got to pray with me every day. Everything that I got, I manifested. From me even doing this morning routine every day, I manifest myself doing it. So I feel like it's a very powerful movement that I want to share with the world, because if you could see it, you could do it. And I had to really learn it. And as part of my healing process, I learned that from one of my mentors, which is, his name is Long Live Nino, or yeah, I think on Instagram is Long Live Nano. He was doing the morning routines, and I really learned everything from him. He was my mentor that I never met before, but he taught me a lot about healing and about the power of your mindset. And I decided to take what I learned from him and teach it to people that's around me. And I've been doing it with my crew for 2 years now.
That's beautiful, and congratulations. And
Thank you.
again, just so proud of you. And I've tuned in a couple of times.
Appreciate
Like
it.
I said, I've shared it a few times, and it's just so inspirational. I just love how you start off in just such a sincere, deep prayer. You know what I mean? And it's one of them long, long prayers. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear from the minister or reverend. I'm like, this girl is ministering. She ministering. She a reverend. You know what I'm saying? Like she really got it. Like, not everybody can pray, saying, and what I'm saying, we pray, everyone pray in their own way respectively. But I'm saying, like, when you be praying, it's just like, you can feel it, the chills. I can feel the chills in my spine when you pray. It's that powerful, I'm saying. It's just really dynamic, what I mean, what you do. We lost her for a second, but she be back. Yes, Jazzy said, God bless your journey. Amen. Okay, so hopefully she'll come right back in. She probably lost signal, whatever like that. But yes, she has a heck of a story. Um, Man, I just can't believe that she went through all of those things, and yet, what I mean, she's still standing strong. It's unbelievable.
I'm
Now,
sorry.
I know it's all good.
I'm back, but thank you.
No, absolutely. I'm just, like I was just saying, where you were going for a second, like I just can't believe that you still standing so strong. Like you are unbelievable character of a person, high character, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm not here to judge nobody, you know what I mean? We all make mistakes in life. Some mistakes, obviously, we know better. We do things, like you say, purposely, based on the reasons why we take different actions. But, what I mean, it's about how you finish. It's not about how you start. And,
For
the way
sure.
that you're, saying, you are preparing this second part of your journey of your life. It's just unbelievable, and it's just inspirational because you have a deep, deep story to tell. Again, a lot of it you contained in that book that's before you, and I'm just grateful that that you were here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um, can you remind them also, what's supposed to be happening on this Saturday too, if you don't mind?
Oh
What's
yeah.
going on Saturday? What's going on
I'm
in
having
Cherry?
a
Like,
live book signing at what's your address? I know
you
it's in
gonna ask what's the
Bloomington. Okay, there you go.
right?
It's this Saturday from 4 to 8. We're going to do free refreshments, you guys. I will have some books on hand for sale, some paperbacks. I will have them on sale and I will be signing them. We'll be able to meet and greet the author and take some photos with me as well. So if you guys want to come on now, if you're in the area of 507 North Center Street, Suite C, and downtown Bloomington. Come and meet and greet me and yeah, have your few refreshments to get your book signed. Let's take a picture because one day you're gonna see this on the movie screen.
Indeed, indeed. I'm so grateful to, for you to come into my space. For my space, to me is very delicate, and it was manifested as well. I manifested this space here. I manifested the space that I'm in right now, which is my home. And I believe deeply into, speaking things into existence. That's why I call my name I Said It. That's part of the whole I Said It theme, definition of why I do and say what I do, But I'm just so grateful for you again. I'm excited for all that God will continue to show you, because when you step out on faith, because that's what you're doing, you stepped out on faith, then man, it's just so many things that's gonna happen that you never saw coming in such a positive way. People are gonna come into your life that you never thought that would support you. People gonna, kneel to you. People, like he said, make your enemies your footstool, your
For
footstool.
sure.
You know what I mean? Now, when it comes to a particular scripture, what scripture would you say would define that book? What scripture would you
Well,
say
I
that
got
those
on the back of
scriptures?
here. I'm just gonna read the one on the back. It's actually scriptures on
Okay,
every chapter. So Um,
okay, okay.
I would say Revelations 12 and 11. And they overcame him because I'm an overcomer. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And this is my testimony. So I use my pain to empower others to overcome whatever struggles they may be going through because I'm sure there's something that everyone that can relate to in this book because I'm like everybody in one. Like I went through a lot of different things. I know met some people that may going through this or went through that, but I kind of went through everything. So I'm pretty sure that my pain will empower others to overcome what they're going through and as well. And that's by the word of my testimony. So yeah, that would be the scripture that I would use to sum this book up. It's scriptures on every chapter anyway.
Okay. And see, I didn't know that because I haven't
Mhm.
had the privilege of opening your book yet. But see,
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Like that's just, I just felt that, and so I said that. And man, I think it's beautiful that you added scriptures in the book because, to just help people to relate in
powerful.
different ways. It's
Yes,
powerful that way.
that's what made it so powerful to me. Because I know how powerful the word is, and I know what the word does, and I'm sowing seeds in your heart and your eyes. What goes in your eyes goes to your heart. So if you read this, this is a seed that I sowed in your heart with the word of God. So it sometimes seeds are sowed on a good foundation, and it will bring a harvest. So
Mm, yes, ma'am, that way. Again, I'm just so grateful to have you here. Lastly, can you just please remind everyone who is tuned in now again how they can find and get that book, that you will have here at 507 North Center Street, Suite C, Bloomington, Illinois, this Saturday from
yeah,
4.
if you're in Bloomington, come on out this Saturday with us from 4 to 8 p.m. I will have some that day. Um, First come, first serve. And then If you're not in the area and you're watching online, you're in Detroit, you're in Michigan, you're somewhere else, a gift of a curse can be purchased on Amazon, on Walmart, on Barnes and Noble, in Target. It's online in a lot of different stores that have paperbacks, hardbacks, and also ebooks. You can also Google this book. It will show you all of the different places that this book is being offered at. And also you can follow me on social media. My Facebook is Charity Dunn. My Instagram is I am Charity Dunn. My TikTok is I am Charity Dunn, and my YouTube is I am Charity Dunn Dunn. So you can definitely reach out to me on one of those social media platforms. And you'll also be able to see links where to go directly from my print company, where you can purchase the book directly from my print company, where to get shipped out to you as well. So I got some QR codes and also some links you can click on my social media sites that'll take you directly to the link for this book. And I guarantee you guys, you're going to love this book. I guarantee you it'll leave you feeling empowered, inspired, and give you hope for a better tomorrow.
Mm, well said. Well said. I told you, you good at this. You was really good. You was born for this.
God changed my
um,
story.
that way,
Yeah.
that way.
Mhm.
Absolutely. My friend Jazzy, she want to remind everyone that she is a
Get
filmmaker.
with me,
And
Jazzy. I
that's
love
right, Jazzy,
that.
no nonsense a poet.
I
She's in
would love
Detroit.
to turn this into a movie. That's my desire
Yeah,
because I can't make this up. And it's not, this is not fiction. This is not nonfiction. This is not a fairy tale. This is real. This is not fiction. This not right. I said it right. This is not fiction. This is a real story. And I would love to see my vision in the movie because to see it gonna hit a way different from reading it, especially when you go
yeah,
back to the bullying and the domestic violence and all of that. Like I could just imagine what it'll look like um in a series or in a movie. Uh,
yeah.
it would definitely hit different. It's definitely going to inspire people on a different level. To see somebody overcome all those things, and still, like you said, come out and still have my mind. That's the most important thing. I still got a peace of mind. I'm still able to smile. I'm still even striving to help people, even after I've been hurt by so many people, and especially by the people that I love at that. So the fact that I even still got a heart is
Mm,
different.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It's like I say, you are a walking miracle. You are an angel in disguise. You know what I mean?
Thank
And
you.
just
Thank you.
unbelievable. Just one of them words that I can't stop reminding to say. You're beautiful. You unbelievable. Super courageous. You are a super
Thank you.
woman for real. To be what all you've been through and still be standing strong here today. And thank you for sharing your time today. I want
Thank
to
you for
add
having me.
Jazzy. No, absolutely. Again, Jazzy was our first guest on this show. You're now our third guest. Shout out to Tamara Knighton, who was the second guest, and we're gonna keep going with this show. Um, and Jazzy, she's actually a really good filmmaker. She has a movie on Tubi right now called Regrets about child human trafficking, and she has part two of Regrets coming up
Okay.
soon. So maybe you all,
Congratulations, Jazzy. That's amazing.
yeah, absolutely, and just such a meaningful topic. What I mean, that needs to be spoken about more and highlighted. About human trafficking and stuff.
Absolutely.
People try to hide it. But so I'm definitely gonna hook you all up, what I mean, so y'all can connect
Amazing.
and
Hmm.
whatever comes from that, what I mean, may God have for y'all, you know. But with that being said, thank you dearly, sincerely for being on this show. Thank you for taking your time today. I don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? I actually again was not supposed to, well, I'm not gonna say supposed to, because everything that's supposed to happen will happen. What will be shall be in life. You know what I mean? So I wasn't planning to be the host of this show today. Selena was, but with her having a surprise birthday party, she had planned to be, and then things turned out to where I was had the pleasure of interviewing you today. And I'm just really grateful and thank you for sharing your book, your story, and all your words of wisdom. Saying you are a walking inspiration, and just continue to just stay strong. You know what I mean? And like they always say, just keep going because this the best is yet to come. You know
For
what I mean?
sure, I
This is just
receive
the
that.
yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. You just breaking ground, the foundation, like, saying what you are building is, no one knows what we're building in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? We just have we be passionate, we give our all, you know what I'm saying, and just keep showing up. As long as you keep showing up and giving your all, be passionate and sincere, and having that big heart that only charity has, name it, having the name charity. It, what does that mean to you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel
It
like
was
now you're more?
predestiny. I feel like God chose me. I feel like how God chose Job to go through it. I feel like
Yeah.
now that I've been in the word, that God chose me at birth to go through what I was going through. I was chosen at birth, and He chose me all the way from the name to who raised me to the things He allowed me to go through to the things I survived and seen. All this was predestined. So I'm just excited about the double for my trouble.
Mm,
I'm excited about that
mm, mm.
because I know it's coming.
I heard that in that order. All
And
right. Well,
charity
peace to
means
you.
love. So to have a heart like
Yeah.
mine with a name like that, it's like, yep, it makes sense because God is love and love means charity. So it's like, yeah, it all makes sense to me. It's gonna all make sense in a minute to everybody else too.
Yes, and absolutely. And that's why I've been saying it's Charity Week. Um, I made a post saying it's Charity Week because, what I mean, obviously today we're here today with the Scar Tissue Talk Show. And then Saturday, you'll be the meet and greet with charity. So it's Charity Week. And so I feel like I should be doing something charitable, more charitable this week. You know what I mean? And my charitable deed that I want to do is I want to purchase your book today. You know what I mean? I want to, that'd be my charity so that I can already have my book. Um, I'm going
Well,
to
you could
purchase
wait
it.
till I come. You could get one for me.
Okay.
You could
Yeah,
just
it'll
get
be
one
more
for me
powerful.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, directly.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get
Well, I
one for
want
me directly Saturday.
to, okay, say
I have
less.
them.
That's right. Because you always sell out. You've been selling out your meet and greets, haven't you?
Yeah, I
And your,
have. I have. And I didn't bring a lot for this one, but I do got my QR codes. I'm gonna be prepared. So if I do run out, I will be able to you'll be able to still purchase it just to get shipped right to your house within a couple days.
okay. Definitely, definitely. That's what's up.
Yeah, so I hope to
Well,
see y'all in Bloomington. I never been there, so y'all show me some love. Come on out.
oh wow. Well, I'm gonna lay out the Bloomington red carpet for you
I'll be
then.
there.
What, whatever that looks
That's
like.
what's up.
Whatever that looks like. But yeah, thank you so much. And man,
Yeah,
definitely
thank you
just
for
enjoy the
having
rest.
me.
Now, absolutely, definitely my pleasure and my honor. But man, make sure you just enjoy the rest of your day. And peace be upon you, Queen. Much love. One
Thank
love.
you. Same to you. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all Saturday. Bye.
That's right. Peace to you. Bye. And so this has been another great episode of Scar Tissue. If you would like to be a guest, then just contact me at I said it management and then put I said it management at gmail.com and just put in the subject line scar tissue so that we know what that pertains to so we can book you as a guest. Our next available date that where we can book someone, let me see on a cheat real quick and look at my calendar because I got a lot of stuff on my calendar. So, every once in a while I gotta just confirm, but I want to say it's November 22nd, 27th. So November 21st is the next available date that we have open because we already have two more guests scheduled and some really dynamic, unbelievable guests, and that you definitely want to hear their story too. So tune in with us. Next episode is always the first and third Thursdays of the month, and this show is actually hosted by Selena Turner. But my name is Celebrity Interviewer. I said it, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you soon here on Scar Tissue. Peace, blessings, and we're gonna do it like this and close it out with the video that we start with, just so you know what's going on. Thank you for everybody that tuned in today. Very grateful. See you next time. Bless.